Hello everyone. So today in this session, we'll try to add MongoDB to our chat application that we have been discussing in the previous two sessions using script.io library. What I have done in this program is I have added the MongoDB database part so that we can instead of directly using the name from the input box, we'll be using the name from the database. So I'll first run this program so that you can understand what we are going to learn today. I'll start this. As you can see that this port is running on 3000 and MongoDB is showing connected. That means we have added MongoDB. Now, if I open the browser, if I type localhost here with 3000 value, see it is showing the login screen. This is not showing the user input that we were using in the last session. So now what we have to do, we have to enter the username and we have to enter the password. Suppose the password is that we have entered. Now what will happen if I write something? Hello. See, the name is automatically coming from the database. And what are the users listed? The users listed, we can see all users listed by using all users. So if I call all users, this I have already discussed in the previous session, but this is in the database. So Raj, I entered Raj at gmail.com. I entered the password. So this name Raj is automatically coming. Similarly, if I enter, suppose I enter Raju and this password, Rajiv Kumar is the name that will automatically come. So if I open a new browser and here I give localhost and in the here I enter Raju and I enter the password, you can see that when I enter, it is automatically coming Rajiv Kumar. Where is this Rajiv Kumar coming? This is coming from the database. You can see in the database when I enter Raju at gmail.com and the password, the name Rajiv Kumar is coming. So in the table, in the MongoDB collection, we have users uh, database. In that users database, we have name, email, password, and options that we can take on this. So there is a name column, there is an email column, there is a password column. Now, if we want to use this in our chat application, what are the changes or what are rather the additions that we have to do? We'll discuss that. So I'll come to the code. I'll first explain the uh, thing that we have done earlier, and then we'll discuss what is new in this. So in the previous program, there was a index.html. So now instead of index.html, I have converted that index.html into EJS because now we will be using Express framework, uh, which was not used in the previous program. So everything is the same. If we come to this HTML part, it is almost same. You can see this is the same thing that we have discussed in the earlier section. So there was a section, then in the section there was a div. This div is to display the chat image. I have placed this image also in the images folder. So now the image is also coming. And this index, then there is another div called the message area. In the message area, we have two div. One is for incoming, one is for outgoing. I have marked it under the comments so that this is not hard coded. It will come dynamically in the message area. And then we have a text area in which we enter the values. So I have converted this index.html into index.ejs. And when we use EJS, the EJS files are kept in the views folder that we have already learned. So I kept this in views folder. And this all users is also available. This all users will display all the users in the database so that we can see what are the things in the database. So this is only for our reference. It has nothing to do with the chat application. This is just to see what are the users and in the database from where we are using it. Then I have created a login.ejs. This login.ejs, if we come here in the code, you can see in the login.ejs, we have a we have a div here. In this div, we have a form. In this form, we have a email and we have a password and we have a submit button. So when we click the submit button, it will go to the slash auth. And this slash auth is declared, this route is declared in the server. So if we come to the server and if we come from the starting point, see, Express is what we have added. Express, require Express. This was not initially in our program. Then we have added, no, this part was actually already there. Now we have added these parts. We have to use Mongoose, we have to use EJS, we have to use body classes, we have to use Express session. So, in order to run this program, we'll have to include all these packages using the npm commands. So we can use npm I mongoose, npm I EJS, npm I body parser, npm I express edition. So if I come to the steps file, so in the steps file, these are the 8 steps that we have already done. Then this is the ninth step that we'll have to perform npmi mongoose, then body parser, then bcrypt, this for encrypting the password. Then we have express session, then we have connect MongoDB session and EJS. These are the things that we will require because we are using what we are using. We are using the database. So for the database connectivity, we will be requiring all these things. So apart from the first 8 steps, this is what we will be requiring. And these are the two users that I am using, raj@gmail.com with the password raj123 and raju at gmail.com with the password raju123. And then we have one to register a user. We can also register a user with slash register. This we have created and slash users we have created to see. If we want to create our own user, then we can use the slash register. Suppose I want to create one user and then I want to chat with it. So I can use slash register. How to use slash register? We can come here in the localhost and I can write register. So when I type register, it will, okay, it's not running at the moment. Let me check. Let us come to the terminal. So the program crashed because then it might be some error. So we can call slash register and we can register new users and then we can use those also. So if I come to the server, what are the things that we will be adding in from our previous program? In our previous program, these are the things that was already there. Then I have used this comment so that the new things are written here from line number 14 to onwards. So for code for using MongoDB, Mongoose is there, then body parser, express, visual bcrypt. These are the things that will be required. Then we use MongoDB session. These are the things that I copied from where I copied from the program that we used in our in our session in which we created MongoDB, and used some data to register and then to show those records. So this was from there. Then a middleware, we have to create a middleware. This is also created. This is also, in fact, I've copied everything from the previous session class. Then when the user will click the form when login, this slash auth will be executed. It will get the email and password from the form. Then it will search in the database with the email. If it is not found, then user does not exist message will come. If the password is found, then it will take out the name from the database, username. Uh, if it is found, when the record is stored where? The record is stored in user. So when the record is found, then we can display just to see which user it is there. And we call the index.ejs and we pass the name. In the previous session, what was happening? In the previous session, we were calling index directly. And in the index, there was client uh, code that was asking for, this was the loop which was asking for the username. So now we are not uh, prompting the user to enter the name. Instead, this username is coming from the database. Rest things, these are the things that was already there. Send message, everything, this was already there. I have not done any changes in this part, in the client part. Only the change is in the name. We are not taking the name. We are taking the name from the database, not from the user end. So if I come to the server.js again, let us see one by one what are the things here. There is a slash auth. I'll explain this. Then there is a slash user. This slash user is just to display all users. Then there is a register. This register will register a new user. We can pass the name and uh, email, password, etc., and directly call the uh, this slash user. Suppose I want to create a new user. So instead, I can take it from the form or I can directly add a new user. Suppose I want to add Fatma. Fatma is the name. Fatma@gmail.com. And suppose the name is Fatma. What is it? So what will happen? These are the three values. These three values will be saved in the database and the user added successfully message will come. So if I go to the terminal, see I'm starting a new terminal. I have started this and now I will go to the register here. I'll enter it. And if I come to the terminal again, then what we get in the terminal, we will get that user added successfully. How, from where this message is coming? This message is coming from the console.log user added successfully. Now, if I view the slash users, then what will happen? Then the slash users, you can see, if I hit the slash users, then all the users will be displayed. And we can also do one thing. After registering the user, instead of giving the message user added successfully on the console, I can call automatically all users. I can call this uh, once again. And then if I call this, then what will happen? We can get the result directly. Suppose I paste here. Now this is suppose all data coming from the database and we will pass all data to the form all users. Now suppose I create a user Ranjan. Ranjan is the name, and suppose Ranjan at gmail.com is the email, and I enter Ranjan 123 password. Now, if we go to the see here, if I run, what will I get? I will get the user Ranjan. See, I've added Fatma just now, and I've added a new user Ranjan. So how this is coming? This is coming from the register user. So this is just to register a user directly from the server. Yeah, we can also create a form and then we can register new user so that a new users can also take place in the chatting. So now if Fatima is there, if we start a new browser and we enter log, and here I enter, suppose I enter Ranjan at gmail.com and I enter Ranjan123, that is the password. I click, then I can start communicating with other user. Hello, and see this Ranjan is coming in the name. And if I enter another user and in the login, instead of uh, if I enter the value, see the name Fatma is coming. This is coming from the database. So how this is coming, that we have to see. Right now, what we have done, we have seen that there is a register user. This register user can register the values that will directly type here. If we want to take this value from the browser, what we will have to do, we'll have to create a uh, form. And from that form, we will pass the values and that values will come here and the user will be registered. So that we can do. If I quickly want to create a register, I'll copy everything from here. See how we can do that. I'll copy this. I'll create a new file. Okay. I'll create a new file register.ejs and I'll call slash register. Okay. This is slash register that I'll call. And what are the values? I'll use email, I'll use password, and I'll use one more thing that will be name. Since we have to give three values. So first value is username. This is name. Type is text. The second value is email address and the third value is password. And here, instead of login, what we will do, we will use the word register. Now, when the user will click the register, it will go to the slash register, and that slash register will be where this slash register, this is the slash register. And now this will be a post. Okay. So since it is coming from the form, it will be post. And instead of hard coding these three values, this will come from the form. These will come from the form. So I'll open this. Now, from the body, name, email, and password will come, and that will be saved and that will be displayed. And we will also have to create what? We'll also have to create a root, get root, so that we will also have to create instead of post, we'll have a register. And what will this register do? This register will just a moment. This bracket is missing, and this register will render register display करने के लिए. So here will call register. Now what will happen when we will enter slash register? Then it will call the register form, and when that form will be filled by the user, then it will go to the database, all data, and that will be displayed also. So let us see if that is happening or not. Now, if I enter register, see it is coming. Welcome back to chat app. Name, email, and password is, and then there's a register. And here, welcome back to chat app. We can change the option to register to chat app. Then how we do that? For that, we can, mm, okay, I'll come to code. And in the register.ejs, welcome back to chat app. I'll give register to chat app. So now if we come to the output here, see it is coming register to chat app. And now I want to register someone. So I suppose I want to register files. Then to email.com. I gave the password is123. And now if I click the register button, you see it is calling the all users. And if you scroll down, then at the bottom you can see that a new user, user number 24 is getting displayed. So we can call this all users also, or what we can do is we can suppose when I hit the register, the user is already registered, so I can give a already registered login, and then he can click and log in. So we'll have to create what? We'll have to create another hyperlink. So I can come here and I can here after the button, I can give a href equals to slash login already registered log in now. So there will be a link. If the user is already registered, then he can just go to login. And in the login, what we can do, in the login, if the user is not registered, then we can give a link register. So what we can do is slash register not registered. No, register now. So if the user is not registered, then there will be a link to register, and if the user is registered, then there will be the option to log in. So if now I come to the browser And suppose we start this application, it is showing welcome to Chatapp. Not registered yet, registered now. So if the user is not yet registered, he can register. He can come here and register. And if the user is registered, already registered, login now, then he'll have to create a slash login so that he can go directly to the login, or we can change the code in the log in the register.pjs. We can just give us. So if we come to the browser, if we start this application, it will ask to log in before chatting. The user has to log in. If the user is not registered, then he can go and register. If the user is already registered, then he can go to the login. So this is how we can create our application. Now, if I want to register myself, then I can give, suppose, forward at the rate is gmail.com, and I give forward 123 and I register. So once I register, then what will happen? My data will come at the bottom. And if I come to the terminal, I can see what are the things that are there. See, user added successfully message is coming since we have added a new user. Now, if I want to log in with that, so what I'll do, I'll start again and I enter invalid password. Okay. If I have entered a wrong one in the password, it is showing invalid password. So this is calling slash off. I'll come to the server so that we can see what is happening there. So in the server, now we have a slash auth is there. This slash auth is what we have already discussed. What we are doing here, we are getting the email and password from the form. We are searching that record in the table with the help of this email. If the record is found, that record will be available in user. So in this user.email, user.name, user.password, everything will be available. If this user does not exist, then it will give a message user does not exist. If the user exists, then it will check for the password. If the password is wrong, then it will give that the password is wrong. This is the message that it was coming right now. And if the password is correct, then what will happen? It will display the name on the console. This is not required. It will call index page and it will pass the user name here. You can see it is passing name of the user name. Now, if I go to the index.ejs, in the index.ejs, you can see at the top, I have added this one new line, which was not there in the previous code. What we are doing here we are having a hidden control. And in this hidden control, the username, Raj, Ravi, Fatma, whatever is there, it will be stored. And the ID of this is username. And when this index.html is called, so from where this is coming, it is coming from the login page, when we enter the username and password, what is happening? It is calling the root/auth. If everything is correct, it will pass the name to the index. That index, that name will be stored here in the hidden. Now, this index calls what? It calls the client.js file, client.js file. So it will go to the client.js. And in the client.js, you can see that now instead of getting the name from the user through the prompt, what we are doing, we are writing document.getElement by ID username.value. So whatever value was passed from the database to the index, that will come to the client. And then this name will be used everywhere. So previously it was a loop, and in this loop we were taking the name of the user. Now we are not taking the name of the user from the the user. Instead, we are taking it from the database, and from the database, how it is coming when we supply the email and password, it checks. So the how is the flow? The flow is we start with login. In the login, we take as input, you can see we take as input email and password, and we call the /auth. This /auth is here in the server. It accepts the email and password, searches the record in the database with that email. If it is found, it is stored in the user. If it is not found, then we say that user does not exist. Then we check for the password. If the password is valid, then we pass the name of the user where we pass the name of the user to the index.ejs. And in the index.ejs, what we are doing in the index.ejs, here you can see we have a hidden control, and we store that name in this. And from the index, where does it go? It goes to the client.js. And in the client.js, what we are writing document.getElement by ID username. And you can see in the index.ejs, the ID of this hidden field where the name is stored is username. So the client.js will get the name, and rest all code in the client is the same. We have not done any changes in that. So you can try to add this database code into the application. We'll put it in the dashboard as well. Try to implement it, and we'll add some more features in the coming session. So in the client.js, every line is same that we have used previously, except for this change. And in the index.ejs, everything is same except for this line we have added here. So rest all is same. Index.html was there. Here it is index.ejs. Client.js was already there. Server.js was already there. In the server.js, what we have added these code that is required to connect to the database. Then we have slash authorization. uh, we have created slash all users, we have created slash register, so that we can add new users into the database, and we can start the chat app accordingly. So try to implement everything that we have discussed today in the program, and we'll add some more features in the coming session. Thank you very much.